In this video, we will discuss the UK spouse visa processing time in 2025. As an Immigration Advice Authority regulated UK immigration law firm that has helped more than 4,600 partners obtain their UK partner visas, we're very well placed to discuss this. We will discuss the processing time for both out-of-country applications, meaning applications submitted from outside the UK, and in-country applications, which are applications submitted from inside the UK. Throughout this video, I will use the term spouse visa. However, if you're applying as a civil partner, fiancé, or unmarried partner, this information will still be relevant to you. This is because the expected processing time does not change based on whether the applicant is a married partner, civil partner, fiancé, or unmarried partner. Rather, the main factor affecting processing times, as we will discuss, is whether the application is being made from outside or from inside the UK. In our effort to be as helpful as possible, this video will also cover 1. Determining whether your application will be or has been made from outside or from inside the UK. 2. Understanding the priority service. 3. Knowing when and how to follow up on an application and the decision. Additionally, we'll discuss numerous other important aspects you should know or expect about the UK spouse visa processing time. Will we be applying from outside or from inside the UK? If you're already sure whether you'll be making an out-of-country or in-country application, feel free to skip to the relevant section to you using the YouTube timestamps in this video. If you're unsure, understanding whether your application will be made from outside or inside the UK is crucial, as the processing times and procedures differ based on this. Firstly, if the applicant, the person applying, does not have any UK visas, the application must be made from outside the UK. If the applicant is in the UK as a visitor, the application must also be made from outside the UK. To apply for a UK spouse visa from inside the UK, the applicant must be in the UK on a visa issued for longer than 6 months, which cannot be a visitor visa. An exception to this rule are those in the UK on a fiancé or proposed civil partnership visa who can apply from inside the UK. We elaborate more about this in detail on our website, www.migrate.org.uk. The first half of this video will cover the processing time for out-of-country applications, along with numerous frequently asked questions such as the process and important considerations. If you're sure that your application is or was an in-country application, feel free to skip to the next section. For out-of-country applications, the standard UK spouse visa processing time in 2025 is up to 12 weeks. Whilst you should plan for it to take up to 12 weeks, in many cases it will be processed quicker than this. The processing time typically starts when the applicant attends their biometrics appointment at the visa centre and concludes when the Home Office makes a decision on the application. There are several key points worth discussing here. Firstly, the country from which the application is submitted does not impact the expected processing time. Secondly, the Home Office lists numerous situations where the processing may take longer, such as if the information in your application is not accurate or requires further consideration, you need to provide further evidence, your documents need to be verified, you need to attend an interview, further information is required, or if UKVI is experiencing increased visa demand. Thirdly, whilst the gov.uk website lists a 12-week processing time, this period is not a guarantee. It is simply a target that the Home Office aims to meet. If your application takes longer than this, it does not necessarily entitle you to a refund of the Home Office fees, nor can you demand that the Home Office processes the visa application within this specific timeframe. For the most current information on standard processing times, based on the numerous spouse visa applications we handle every day of the week, visit our article on spouse visa processing times at migrate.org.uk. We update this article on the first or second day of each month. We will now discuss the priority service. Spouse or partner visa applications that purchase the priority service should expect to hear back within 30 working days. This service costs an additional £500 per applicant on average. I say on average because, as we discussed in our spouse visa fees YouTube video, the currency conversion rate used can result in partners having to pay up to 5% above or below the conversion figure that you'll see on Google. So when is the priority service purchased? The priority service is most commonly purchased on the VFS website, which will be redirected to as part of the online application process after the application is submitted by paying the Home Office fee on the online application form. If it is not listed there and you want to opt for the priority service, the applicant should ask the staff at the beginning of the visa centre appointment. VFS is a commercial partner that works with the Home Office to facilitate the biometrics appointment and the submission of the documents. The VFS website states that even if the priority fee is paid, applications may not be decided within 30 working days in the following circumstances. Notably, it states that if the applicant has previously had a UK visa refusal, the application may not be considered straightforward and could take longer than 30 days. However, for those who had a previous UK visa refusal overturned, it is more likely that the priority service application will be decided within the 30-day timeframe. Let's now talk about the steps you can take if your standard application is not processed within 12 weeks, or if your priority application is not completed within 30 working days. The first step is to Google contactukvi.gov.uk. You will find this web page here, which will provide you with the appropriate contact details to contact them directly. If you do not get a satisfactory response, you can then consider reaching out to the sponsor's local MP. To find your local MP's contact details, you can Google Find Local MP in UK and then enter the sponsor's UK postcode or location. Alternatively, you may decide to make a complaint to the Home Office. To do so, you can find their complaints procedure by Googling Complain Home Office. The complaints procedure will then tell you the numerous ways you can make a complaint. However, it's important to note that none of these methods guaranteed a faster resolution, as the Home Office does not promise specific turnaround times. Rather, they have customer service standards that they aim to meet, and may refer to that in any response to you. What about applications that have not exceeded 12 weeks for a standard application or 30 working days for a priority application? In such a case, contacting the Home Office via the web form, reaching out to your local MP, or filing a complaint is very unlikely to expedite your application. As stated on the gov.uk website, you do not need to contact UKVI to track your application if you've already made a visa application and it is still within the current processing times. We will not be able to provide information on the status of your application. An exception might be made if there are extremely compassionate or compelling circumstances, such as a medical emergency. However, partners often find that the threshold for such exceptions is quite high. Practical inconveniences caused by delays are typically not considered sufficient reasons for expedited processing. This email here is normally sent out as standard. Due to the wording of this email, and the fact that partners normally do not know that this is a standard email, this email commonly raises a few questions. A frequent concern is, we've already sent in the supporting documents. Does this mean that they were not received? The answer is not necessarily. If you have already sent the supporting documents, you don't need to take any further action when you receive this email. The second question is, does this email indicate what stage the processing is at? The answer is no. This email is sent out inconsistently, sometimes a few days after the applicant's visa centre appointment, and other times months later. From our experience with thousands of spouse visa applications, it's evident that the timing of this email has no bearing on when you should expect a decision. You will typically receive an email from the Home Office once an application has been decided. Depending on your email provider, especially if you use Hotmail or Outlook, these emails can occasionally be sent into your spam or junk folders. Be sure to check those folders regularly to avoid missing any important emails. In this email, applicants applying as a married, civil or unmarried partner will normally receive a decision letter, whilst those applying as a fiancé normally just receive an email to say that a decision has been made. If the email lacks a decision letter, the outcome of the application will likely be revealed when the applicant's passport is returned. We elaborate more on this in our UK spouse visa process YouTube video. And in this email, it will normally state that you should wait until the visa centre contacts you about the passport. A second email, which instead will be from the commercial partner regarding the passport, is normally then sent out, although it's not uncommon for this email to be sent out before the email from the Home Office. So that is our discussion on the processing time as they relate to out-of-country partner visa applications. We discussed the spouse and partner visa requirements and process in detail on our website, migrate.org.uk. The second half of this video will focus on the processing times for in-country spouse visa applications, meaning applications submitted from inside the UK. The standard UK spouse visa processing time in 2025 is currently up to 8 weeks for in-country applications. Whilst you should expect for it to take up to 8 weeks, in many cases it will be processed quicker than this. It's important to know that this 8-week timeframe is not a guarantee. Rather, it is a target timeframe the Home Office aims to meet. Therefore, if your application exceeds this timeframe, it does not necessarily mean that you're eligible for a refund of the Home Office fees, nor does it allow you to insist that the Home Office processes the visa within this specified period. The Super Priority Service. If you choose the Super Priority Service, the processing time can be expedited to 1 working day for an additional £1,000 per applicant. For those making an in-country application with dependent children, it's important to note that the fees are per applicant. This means that, similar to out-of-country applications, the Home Office fee, immigration health surcharge, and the Super Priority fee must also be paid for each dependent child's application. If you decide to pay for the super priority service, please note that it can currently only be purchased on the payment page of the FLRM application form. It cannot be purchased later. If you reach this page and only the standard option is available, you may want to periodically check back if the applicant's current visa expiry date permits to see if the super priority service has become available. Importantly, the date you pay the standard or super priority Home Office fee on this page is important. This date is referred to as the date of application, and importantly, the requirements must be met on the date that the visa fee is paid. For example, Jeff's UK spouse visa expires on the 2nd of June 2025. Jeff submits the application by paying the Home Office fee on the 21st of May 2025. Jeff meets the financial requirement by combining employment income with cash savings. On the 22nd of May 2025, one day after submitting the application, Jeff quits his job and spends all of his cash savings. Jeff quitting his job and spending all of his cash savings should not affect the spouse visa application because this happened after the date of application, which again is the date that the Home Office fees were paid on the online application website. Secondly, if the application is submitted before the applicant's visa or leave expires, the visa or leave that the applicant has at that point will be automatically extended until a decision has been made on the new spouse visa application. For example, using the same example of Jeff's UK spouse visa expires on the 2nd of June 2025. He submits the application on the 21st of May 2025. Jeff's UK spouse visa will be automatically extended until a decision has been made, and he can therefore continue to live and work in the UK. This rule applies to other types of visas that allow an in-country application to be made. For example, Jeff can also be on a skilled worker visa or a youth mobility scheme visa here. This is worth highlighting because some partners might decide to pay extra for the super priority service under the mistaken belief that the new spouse visa application must be decided before the expiry date of their current visa. If you have an employer who is unfamiliar with the UK immigration rules and is worried about the applicant's visa expiring due to the processing time of the spouse visa application, you can provide them with the Section 3C guidance, which can be found by Googling Section 3C Leave Guidance.gov.uk. The guidance looks like this. It's also worth pointing out here that if the applicant leaves the UK whilst the in-country spouse visa is being processed, the application will be automatically withdrawn. Therefore, if you anticipate that the applicant may need to leave the UK within the 8-week processing period, or slightly longer if you want to err on the side of caution, you might want to consider the super priority service. Again, please keep in mind that the super priority service can only be purchased when submitting the online application. Therefore, the possibility of the applicant needing to leave the UK should be considered before submitting the application. We will now discuss when and how you can follow up on an in-country partner visa application. It's important to note that if 8 weeks have not yet passed and there are no extremely compassionate or compelling circumstances, such as a family illness, attempting to contact the Home Office is likely to be unproductive. If your wait has exceeded 8 weeks, the first step is to Google contactukvi.gov.uk. You will find this webpage here, which will provide you with the appropriate contact details to contact them directly. If you do not get a satisfactory response, you can then consider reaching out to the sponsor's local MP. To find your local MP's contact details, you can Google Find Local MP in UK and then enter the sponsor's UK postcode or location. Alternatively, you may decide to make a complaint to the Home Office. To do so, you can find their complaints procedure by Googling Complain Home Office. The complaints procedure will then tell you the numerous ways you can make a complaint. However, it's important to note that none of these methods guaranteed a faster resolution, as the Home Office does not promise specific turnaround times. Rather, they have customer service standards that they aim to meet, and may refer to that in any response to you. If you'd like more information about the UK spouse and partner visa requirements, or if you'd like help with your application, you can visit our website www.migrate.org.uk.